Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to dig into the story behind this local mascot that has a surprisingly dark past. Yeah, he's not cute, definitely not cuddly, and believe me, there's a 400-year-old reason for that.
Okay, so when you think of Japanese mascots, the Yuruchara, you're probably picturing something super adorable, right? These cute ambassadors for their towns. But this guy from Akita City, well, let's just say he's something else entirely.
So meet Yojiro. He's a white fox, an official messenger, and that menacing stare, that's not a design flaw. Oh no, it is a direct link to a centuries-old legend, one that's packed with loyalty, a really brutal betrayal, and a terrifying, village-destroying revenge.
All right, to really get why a modern mascot looks so intense, we've got to go back. I mean, way back, to the early 1600s. A powerful lord, Sata Yoshinobu, has just moved into a brand new castle.
So the year is 1604. The lord officially enters his new home, Kubota Castle. But, his victory celebration is pretty short-lived, because night after night, he's just tormented by these awful nightmares, and nobody in his court has any idea what's causing them or how to stop them.
And then, one night, an old, tired-looking fox appears to him, almost like a dream. The fox explains, "Look, your new castle, it displaced my entire clan." But he doesn't demand the land back, no. He just humbly asks for a small place for his family to live. And in return, he makes this incredibly bold promise.
Well, the lord is totally intrigued by this, so he strikes a deal. He grants the fox sanctuary and even gives him a new name, Yojiro, in honor of one of his most loyal servants. And in exchange, the fox promises to be his personal, high-speed courier all the way to the capital, Edo, which is modern-day Tokyo.
And believe me, he was not exaggerating. For 6 solid years, Yojiro served the Lord faithfully. Now think about this. A journey that took human messengers a whole month for a round trip, Yojiro could do it in just 6 days. It was just impossibly, supernaturally fast.
But of course, that kind of incredible speed, it doesn't go unnoticed. Along his route in a village called Rokuta, Yojiro's amazing efficiency starts attracting, well, the wrong kind of attention. And this is where things start to go very, very wrong.
You see, a local innkeeper, a guy named Maimon, starts getting annoyed. This super-fast messenger from the Satake clan never stops to rest at his inn, and it's costing him money. He gets suspicious and ropes in a local hunter named Tanizo to help him figure out what Yojiro's secret is. And their plan was actually pretty methodical. They figured, okay, no human can be that fast. And, more importantly, they correctly guessed his one weakness. What do foxes love? Fried rats. So they laid a trap.
So on his very next journey, Yojiro sees the trap waiting for him. And with his, supernatural senses, he knows instantly. He knows his cover's blown, his true form has been discovered, and this is it. This is the end. There's no getting out of this one.
But his loyalty to his lord was absolute. Before he faces his fate, he carefully hangs the lord's important message pouch on a nearby tree just to make sure it's safe. Only then does he walk into the trap. The men ambush him and they brutally beat him to death. But then, as he dies, something incredible happens. A white fox spirit rises from his body, snatches the message, and flies off towards Edo to complete the mission. So his duty was done. But for the villagers of Rokuta, the real horror was just beginning. They had no idea what kind of powerful spirit they just messed with, and they made one final, fatal mistake.
What did they do? They took Yojiro's body, they cooked it, and they ate it. And right there, that's the moment this legend about loyalty turns into an absolute tale of pure terror. Almost immediately, a terrifying curse crashes down on the village. A wave of just uncontrollable madness sweeps through the population. We're talking over 300 people completely losing their minds.
And look, this was not some subtle curse. The stories say people were driven to these horrific acts of self-mutilation, chewing off their own fingers, smashing their teeth with rocks. This madness raged for over a month, and by the time it was over, 17 people were dead, including the 2 ringleaders, Maimon and Tanizo. They died in absolute agony.
This story is a perfect example of a traditional Japanese belief called Goryo Shinko. The basic idea is that if someone dies unjustly, their spirit can become an onryo, a really powerful, vengeful ghost. And the only way to stop the curse is to pacify that spirit. You have to build a shrine, you worship them, and you try to transform all that destructive rage into a protective energy.
But wait, the story doesn't stop there. Because like all great legends, there's another version. This one comes from a neighboring region and it's a lot less supernatural and a whole lot more political.
So, the legend they tell in Yamagata Prefecture suggests Yojiro wasn't a fox spirit at all. What if he was a highly effective human spy working for the Satake clan? In this version, he was found out and assassinated by agents of the ruling government, the Tokugawa shogunate. And that whole story about a fox's purse? Well, that becomes a brilliant cover story, doesn't it? A way to explain all these mysterious deaths without pointing a finger at the most powerful government in Japan.
So whether you believe he was a magical fox or a human spy, Yojiro's story left this permanent mark on the whole region. And his legacy? It's still going strong even today.
Over the centuries, Yojiro's image was totally transformed. He went from a vengeful spirit to this revered guardian. Shrines were built for him. Foot soldiers and messengers started to worship him as a kind of patron deity. His story was adapted into popular kabuki plays. And get this, today there's even an annual relay race held in his honor.
And that brings us right back to where we started. That fierce expression on the mascot's face isn't just there to look cool or edgy. No way. It's a vessel for this entire 400-year-old story, all of it. The unwavering loyalty, the gruesome curse, and that enduring mystery of who or what he really was.
So, the next time you see a mascot, any mascot, maybe it's worth asking what kind of story might be hiding behind those big eyes. Looking at him now, what do you see? A loyal servant? A terrifying, vengeful spirit? Or a silent spy? The legend is so powerful because it lets you decide. So, what do you think the real story is?